In this video, we will go through the installation process of PWGL, and that will involve 3 steps. We will look at how to overcome Apple's security measures for applications from undefined developers, and that requires us to dive down into the command line. Then we will install dependencies, and we will also install or look at how to install PWGL extensions like libraries and user tutorials. So therefore, this installation is a bit involved. On my machine here, I'm showing how to go through all these steps. I currently don't have a machine where PWGL is not installed, and therefore I'm not actually doing it, but I go through all the steps. So first, we just download it, or look for how to download it. If you just enter at Google PWGL, then it currently comes up top, yeah. So, or you can just go directly to the download links. And what you want to download to install it on macOS, the current version does not run on Windows anymore, is the file that you can download from this zip link here. I already did that, and then next step is simply to uncompress that. And now the first step in the installation process is to move this folder into our application folder. So very straightforward. That's a standard macOS application process. So I just open a new window and go to the application folder and move into, yeah, and now I would drag and drop that folder in here. So it so happens it's already there, but you get the idea. So that's straightforward. Now, the next step is to install some dependencies, and we need to have this PWGL, this library installed, which, yeah, is already part of that's a third-party library. If I'm going back to the website for downloads, yeah, it's just listed as one of the third-party libraries here. And instead of downloading it from here, take the file that's part of the PWGL installation folder that you just unzipped and uncompressed, and uncompress that file. And then we double-click this, and to show again that's not done right away, so we open it via Control click or right mouse click, and then do open here and do open there, and then we can go through the installation process. Again, I'm not actually doing that, just showing how to do that. Okay, now the next step is, because of Apple security measures, if we would run this now on a machine which is macOS 10.12 or higher, then PWGL would not run still. You need to dig into the command line. So for that, I'm opening the command line. If you never ever did that before, one way to find the command line is to go to, sorry, not that one, go to the, yeah, do I find Spotlight here? Yeah, I will do this by shortcuts. Okay. Yeah, in case you don't, so one of the shortcuts you can use to get the command line is Command space. And now I just enter terminal, press enter, and here we have a command line. And I'm going back to the website, where in the website you see there is some more detailed instructions on how to install it. And I follow that instruction now by copying this part of the command line text, command copy, go to my command line, say command paste, enter some space, and then I go to the actual PWGL application. So in our application folder, in our application folder, the folder PWGL, and then I grab this file, the actual application, and drag and drop it into the command line. So that way, and then if I wouldn't have done that already, I would now press enter. I'm again not doing that because it's already installed on the machine. And once we did all that, then PWGL should be able to be started by just double-clicking it like a normal application. So far, so good. And now, as a second step, we are also installing some user libraries. And again, user libraries, I'm going back to the PWGL download page. Some libraries are listed here under user contributions. And there are more libraries available for download if you go to GitHub and then go to my GitHub area. That is, sorry, just zooming in so that you actually see. That is, hey, please show. That is github.com/t-anders. There are cluster engine, which is basically what you just saw here. That's part of the work by Urgent 100. We meanwhile do this together, so you can find it there and download it there. And sorry, cluster engine, this one, and cluster rules is another extension. Yeah, so you can download these by going to clone or download. If I go, for example, to cluster engine, clone and download, and then say download zip, and that will not download the whole Git repository, but only the actual file you want to have for your installation. And then I'm going to the file that I actually downloaded and unzip that. And now one little step you need to do in order for PWGL to actually find that properly is I'll take out this master, which has been automatically added by GitHub, and this folder I move into the PWGL user library folder. That is under, I go to Command-Shift-U in order to go to my home directory. Oops, sorry, no, that Command-Shift-H to go into my home directory, and then I scroll down to PWGL user, and there is a folder called user library where you throw in, you see there I already have quite a bunch in there, where you can throw in all sorts of user extensions, like for example this folder cluster engine, which happens to be there already, so I'm not overwriting this, but yeah, other user extensions you find again on the original download site. So for example, if I'm going to the website of Jacopo Baboni-Schilingi, I'm just going to that site here now. And then you need to know how to actually find it here, and it happens to be under this button, Research, where he has a number of free libraries there. Like the Jacopo Baboni-Schilingi profile, CMI, and constraints, which are installed exactly the same way as I just showed, but only GitHub is not automatically adding this master at the end. So if I just go, for example, click profile, oh no, actually it doesn't find that, it finds some documentation of that. It's I go to this link here up there, and if I unzip this, voila, then we have a number of libraries. Yeah, these are all actually folders which you can look at. The number of libraries there, and what I would do is grab the actual libraries, not the folder, only the libraries themselves, and drag and drop them into the user library folder. Again, the user library folder is located in my home directory, then the directory PWGL and user library, and within that folder you put your extensions here, like for example they are here, already there. And so far that was how to show was shown how to install user extensions. Additionally, Jacopo provided some user tutorial. I'm just showing you what I'm talking about by opening PWGL. Perhaps I first show what the user libraries are actually are. If I'm now going under PWGL File, Load Library, or you saw there was a shortcut for that, Command U. If I just close this again, cancel, File, Load Library, Command U. If you do this a bunch of times, you might just do Command U, U for user library. Then it shows you this interface where you can select some extension library and load this into this environment. So for example, I might grab, I just mentioned before here, cluster engine, and say OK. And then that is loading cluster engine. And if then I'm control clicking in the background, there has been a menu added with various additional boxes, as you can see. And I can do this multiple times. Command U, look at another library. So for example, some libraries are actually coming with the system, like for example this G rhythm, and then added under location kernel. And if I say OK, then we have the G rhythm library here with all its boxes. Okay, if you want to have user tutorials, they would show up here under Help PWGL tutorial, and there is this user tutorial. If you haven't installed this, then there's nothing in here. The user tutorials are, they have been done by Jacopo. They are very useful because every box in the system that's built in is briefly explained here with example patches. Every box pretty much. Like for example in our previous video we looked into the num box. That's explained here how to use that with some little text, and then shown how to use that. So in order to install that, we go back to the website of Jacopo Barboni Schilingi and follow this link, kernel tutorial, and that downloads that. And once that's done, then that is another folder that goes into the directory. Here, the user directory, PWGL user, and then tutorial. So I take the contents of the folder I just download and throw it in here. So get that zip file that you just downloaded, uncompress it, and then take its content. You see the content, not the actual folder itself. Then take this and move it into the directory tutorials. And once that's all done, then you have not only PWGL running, but also PWGL running with a number of its extensions, which makes it a more useful environment.